Okay, so I'm very excited about this. This is the very first episode / pilot to review all monsters.
Who are you?
I'm Enshohma.
Where are we?
This is the internet.
You don't matter.
It does matter to me, sunshine.
Oh, too bad you don't count. Anyways, hello everybody. My name is Burke. I am your host for the evening, and this person over here is someone else.
Actually, I'm the lead host. I'm Enshohma, and
no one cares.
Right. I'm the creator of this amazing show you're about to listen to. And this is, again, the very first episode of Review All Monsters. Literally a podcast dedicated to reviewing every giant monster movie ever made, when we can.
That exists.
Yes, and despite the fact that I have a reputation online for being such a fanatic of giant monster movies, I must admit that we have you to blame, Burke, for this little mess that we're now in.
Yeah, that's why when you try to say that you're the creator of this project, that requires a gigantic asterisk next to it, like steroid using sports people.
Exactly. So here's the story. I really wanted to do a podcast for giant monsters for the longest time, largely because I've been extremely disappointed with a lot of other podcasts and on-video YouTube series that were talking about giant monster movies.
Especially Brandon's videos.
Hey, let's
Those are the worst. Yeah, they also have terrible artwork before every video. Especially the Godzilla ones.
You son of a gun. Okay, alright, so the truth is, I don't mind Brendan that much, but there is a...
Brendan Tenold's are the worst, and he hates the artwork, too.
Okay, now you're just being a complete and total bastard, you know that?
I'm just saying what you say at night.
It's gonna be one of those podcasts, isn't it?
So,
yeah.
Basically, people don't really go in depth about the actual history and lore of giant monsters, and they especially don't pay a lot of attention to the monsters themselves. Often just sort of glossing over them and not really giving them the attention they deserve.
In addition to that, there's also way too much focus on only the Godzilla movies that have been made, with a lot of American or foreign giant monster movies left in the dust. And also, if you've seen like Matt Frank do guest appearances on other people's non-Godzilla or kaiju-related shows, most of the time these podcasts will always have a one host who has no idea what the genre is about, and they spend too much time either trying to explain everything, and the other guy deliberately not getting it and just joking along. So, which is not going to happen on this podcast at all, right, Brendan?
Brendan's not here.
I know, that was a terrible joke.
Yes, because jokes are funny.
Already, this wonderful podcast idea of mine is going down like the Titanic.
See, you keep saying it was your idea, but I'm the one who twisted it to my own purpose.
Oh, man, you're taking this show over like... I can't think of a clever analogy. Moving on.
Yeah, who's surprised? And that's how I won the war. Anyways, for those of you who are not giant monster fans, first and foremost, I am shocked and amazed you're still listening. And I am so sorry about everything you've already heard. And also, I'm sorry in advance for everything you're going to hear. But, giant monster movies, in and of themselves, they can fit into just about any kind of genre. They're not just sci-fi, they're not just fantasy. They can be any number of film. They can be horror, they can be westerns, believe it or not, that's actually happened more than once.
Yes.
They can be romance. They can run the gambit.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that really matters for a giant monster movie that makes it count as a giant monster is that the giant monster is important and matters to the plot.
Yes, regardless if it is a main character or a very hard-to-ignore MacGuffin.
Yes. So, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time every episode going over, what a giant monster movie is. We're just going to go into the movie itself and judge it for its own merits and talk about what it is as a giant monster movie and how it works in that regard. We won't have a rating system of any sort because those are often arbitrary, and honestly, with a lot of these films, they don't really rate that highly as far as pure quality goes, because let's face it, the majority of these films are not Citizen Kane or Godfather, but they're not supposed to be. That's not what they are. That's not what they're good at.
Mm-hmm. And much like this podcast, if we do review them, we're not rating them, but it's purely for the entertainment value.
Yes, we will recommend movies as we see fit.
Mm-hmm.
Some movies are bad, but the monster or some other aspect of the film is worth seeing. Some movies are just really unique and deserve to be seen.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
This episode is all about covering the list of movies that we are going to be watching. And it's quite a list.
Yes. Okay.
Bark, 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 bark.
Yes, just let the audience know I'm doing this podcast at someone else's house, so there's
Raph, you can cut this out.
Oh, yeah, right.
This part's getting cut.
Now, it's very funny that you should say that because I'm a kaiju-ologist, amateur kaiju-ologist in the world of giant monster movies, but I still have you, Burke, to blame for this whole mess because originally I was thinking of just limiting the focus to just Japanese monster movies and possibly television shows. But you, knowing
That's the coward's way out.
That's definitely the only way to put it, because you, knowing me for years and seeing my infamous list, and I'm not just talking about the movie list we're about to go over, but that's a whole different story and podcast in its own right. You knowing my knowledge of giant monsters, it was you who says, no, let's review all the giant monster movies.
Really, how hard is it gonna be?
And then I sent you the completed list I gathered.
First, I had to excise all of the unworthy films. So let's talk about the list. The list is presented entirely cut chronologically from start to finish. We may not capture some of the more obscure movies, but to the best of our ability, this is every single movie that was ever made that may not still exist.
Exactly. As mentioned earlier, if we can't get to a movie, we'll skip it, and if we find it later, then a delayed episode.
And if some of these movies are found, glory, glory, hallelujah, someone invented time travel.
Hey, we'll get to one movie in particular as a good example, but let's start going through the list. We'll just name names and not go too much into detail of what we plan to do. So,
for those of you who are in the know, you will recognize the movie. Most of you will not.
I'm thinking we're going to have a lot more in the latter camp than in the former.
Yes, that's what most of you means, Raph.
Oh. Most of yous guys.
Y'all mooks. The Conquest of the Pole! May 3rd, 1912.
Yes, the earliest known giant monster movie. So
that's right, folks. We're including the silent films. All three of them.
Yeah. Well, You're right. There's like 4 of them.
Yeah.
All right, and after that, it's closely followed by The Ghost of Slumber Mountain, an early film from Willis O'Brien.
1919. That's going to be a fun one to try and find.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have it on video, but I don't know if it's readily available online.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to find online.
Yeah.
The Lost World, 1925. Is there a complete copy of that anywhere?
I didn't even know there was incomplete copies. So
Yeah, for the last I checked, good portions of the film were missing, though that may have been rectified.
that is true, and that's going to be a problematic movie to look at. So.
Look, we'll get back to problematic movies in a second. First, we have The Mysterious Island, 1929, the first one.
Yes, not to be confused with the more beloved Ray Harryhausen version, and very loosely based on the somewhat beloved adventure novel from Jules Verne.
Okay, Raph, let's be entirely honest. Most people who even know who Ray Harryhausen is don't know what The Mysterious Island is.
Yeah, that is true. I think more people know Ray Harryhausen better than Jules Verne. So.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age.
Speaking of complicated movies to talk about, King Kong!
The one and only, the 8th wonder of the world, 1933.
March 2nd. Oh boy, that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about.
Yeah, keep that date in mind, viewers.
1933, why? Here is an error on Raf's part. The Seabat, July 5th, 1930. Should have come before King Kong, Raffy.
See, this is what... Okay, just to let you guys know, making a list on your own of almost every giant monster movie...
I know for a fact I pointed this out before.
Well, then I forgot to update it, okay? How about we just stick to years for now?
I knew I should have... Even the year is off! It's 1930!
Would you stop... Oh, man. Again, this podcast is a golden turd already on its first try.
Yeah, I'm the gold and you're the turd.
Oh, let's not go there. I'm honey. I'm no turd.
But something is, and that something is Son of Kong!
Great save there, pal. Yes,
Also made in 1933.
Yeah, Son of Kong, the first of the quickie sequels.
Also released in 1933.
Yeah, less than 6 months than the very first King Kong, which is saying a lot about the movie.
Speaking of quickly made films, Japanese King Kong, which does not exist anymore.
Yeah, so I highly doubt we're going to get to that episode anytime soon, so...
We can mention what we know of it in the King Kong movie, but yeah, Japanese King Kong was it's not a film that's likely to ever resurface.
Not at all, so...
Next up is Secret of the Loch in 1934.
One of the first movies dedicated to the Loch Ness Monster and actually featuring a Loch Ness Monster, as opposed to some elaborate Scooby-Doo style hoax at the end of the narrative.
What's funny is in the one Scooby-Doo movie that actually involved the Loch Ness Monster, they revealed that there was in fact a real Loch Ness Monster.
And thanks to you, I'll remember to put that movie on the overall list later. Thanks a lot, Jesse.
Yeah, we'll see how that works.
Alright, so next up, the Devil Monster, aka the Sea Fiend, 1936, and the 1946 recut.
We'll explain what the hell is up with that when we get to the movie.
Yeah, and again, some of these movies are obscure even for me, dear friends.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we have another monkey. We have King Kong appears in Edo, 1938. Also a lost film.
Yeah, so
thank you, World War II.
Exactly. So don't expect a snowball's chance in hell with us covering this episode in depth. So
maybe we'll magically reappear.
Yeah, just one day we open our doorstep and right there is all the lost King Kong movies in a baby basket, just abandoned at our doorstep.
I swear to God, if we get those instead of the Doctor Who episodes, I'm going to kill somebody. I'd even take the Quatermass. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, so Now, moving on is probably the king of all stock footage reuse. 1 million BC, 1940. This is the original version with Victor Mature, and not the more well-known remake.
It's also 1 million BC, not 1 million year BC.
Right. Did I do that mistake?
No, I think it's 1 million BC.
Yeah, no, the original is 1 million BC, the remake is 1 million years BC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Alright.
I might be wrong.
No, you're absolutely right now that you mention it.
And now, the knockoff of older film, Unknown Island. 1948.
Yes, before there was an asylum ripping off major blockbusters, there was Unknown Island ripping off King Kong, The Lost World, and Jungle Jim.
For some reason.
Right. And from the ridiculous to the profound, we have Mighty Joe Young, 1949.
Which barely counts, but because it's such a good movie, we're throwing it in anyways.
Yeah. Well, thank you for making that your argument for having it here, but also the movie does have ties to King Kong, not directly, but definitely behind the scenes and indirectly.
Yes, but that doesn't count, otherwise we'd have other crap on here.
Yeah, before we move on, dear viewers, just to let you know, we do bend the rules a little bit, but it's justified.
Usually just whatever the hell we want to throw in extra.
Yeah, so, alright.
After that is going to be one of our very first specials, and that is the 1920 to 1940 retrospective. Early years of giant monster film genre.
Yes, we just basically do an overall recount and recheck and re-review of all the movies that came before this era, because
it's more of a summation of what they all were and how the genre evolved over time.
Summation. That's a nice word. I wish my vocabulary was as good as yours.
That's why I'm on this podcast, besides to belittle you.
Yes, thank Godzilla, somewhat. That was a terrible pun, I apologize.
Lost Continent, the second.
Better known to modern-day viewers as Rock Climbing the movie.
1951, as made famous by Mystery Science Theater 3000 and nothing else.
Yeah, that's... even Cesar Romero couldn't save that one, but we'll get to that gem when we get to it.
One day. Meanwhile, okay, dear viewers, you cannot see what I can see in front of my eyes right now. I need to stop this list for just a second to cover something that is incredibly important. So, our list, date-wise, goes from 1951 to 1953. Notice, there's no film made in 1950, no film made in 1952. There's only one other film that was technically a giant monster film in 1953. Again, we'll get to that in just a moment. And then 1954 happens. There's only 3 films there. And then we skip 4 films. Raph made a mistake. Wait, no. Yeah. 5 films made in that year. One of them's kind of odd. But we'll get to that. And then after 1954, the list goes on forever.
Yes, it's been very sparse and mercifully so. But then when we hit the major grandfathers of the giant monster genre, and this also includes the 1952 re-release of King Kong, the can of worms explodes, so to speak.
And to burst open that can of worms is the beast from 20,000 Fathoms. June 13th, 1953.
Yes, just as much as the re-release of King Kong I just mentioned, this movie helped spawn the giant monster genre. But as you'll see, other movies definitely added fuel to the fire.
We're gonna get to them.
Yes.
But first, special episode. War of the Worlds, 1953. With my favorite version of the saucers the Martians use.
But Burke, Raph knowingly asked, it doesn't have a giant monster movie. Damn it. It doesn't have a giant monster in it. I screwed up my lines. Why is it on the list?
Because it's a fantastic movie. It's a great special effects film. It's probably one of the best looking films ever made in the 50s. Mm-hmm. And also the little known fact that in, say the 2000s, some nobody remade the film and made the giant walkers more of giant robots.
Also, the movie is indicative of how the sci-fi genre started in cinema in the early 50s.
Pretty much. This is the beginning.
Exactly. So in fact, as you'll see from this list, dear listeners, there will be some monster movies that do not have giant monster elements in them, but they're very important historically to the giant monster genre, and the 1953 War of the Worlds from my man, producer George Powell, definitely counts in that regards.
Spoiler warning, we're going to be saying good things about the movie.
Yeah, we both love it.
Unlike Monster from the Ocean Floor, 1954.
I think that will be the first movie where our thoughts will not be in tune, because I actually kind of like that movie a little bit.
You like it a little bit, but does it deserve to open the door to 1954?
No, we got way bigger picnic-loving ambassadors for that with Them. June 19th, 1954.
The other opener of the can of worms. We'll touch on that later. Meanwhile, the movie that doesn't really matter and nobody likes, but we put it on the list anyways. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Disney. December 23rd, 1954.
Yeah. It has one of the most well-known giant sea monsters in all of fiction, the giant pulp, better known as giant plulp, better known as the giant squid. But we're putting this movie in because it has a somewhat significant giant monster element, but like War of the Worlds, it's also somewhat connected to the whole giant monster sci-fi genre that should be gone over.
Unlike War of the Worlds, it's not as good of a movie.
Yeah. Don't worry. I also have issues with Mr. Disney on this one. So
we'll get back to that later. And then we have
the big guy himself.
No, we're gonna skip that one because you know what? Killers from Space, 1954, does not deserve to come last in 1954.
I absolutely agree with you, Burke. Killers from Space is the Citizen Kane of giant monster movies, and to think it was made in Japan too at Toho Studios.
Yeah, that's
Are we done joking?
I swear to God, if anyone actually believes that, I don't even know what to do with you. Killers from Space, it's just a wet fart. But don't worry, we have something to like that fart.
Yes, we have a collection of rose petals to come before Killers in Space, and that is... would you like to take this one, Burke?
Gojira/Godzilla, King of the Monsters, 1954, 1956.
Yes, both versions of the film are very significant, both to the giant monster genre, but also the Japanese film entertainment in general. Or the tokusatsu genre is what I should be saying.
The Gojira 1954, and I only call it... I need to clarify one thing. I call it Gojira because that helps define it from other films made later on that have just Godzilla as their title.
That is a good point. By the time we get to this episode, I may be changing my tune too. I usually just refer it by year.
As far as I am concerned, it is Gojira. The movie is Gojira. The character is Godzilla because that is what Toho came up with for the American name, and I am American.
Yeah, and I can't wait till we get to this episode because I definitely want to destroy that whole misconception that only Japan likes Godzilla. When in reality, we Americans...
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we Americans are just as much to blame.
This is the biggest one. This is it. In 1955, there aren't really that many films. We only have... And I'm going to go over them in quick order.
Okay.
Some of them are better, some of them are... In 1955, we only have Godzilla Raids Again, King Dinosaur, It Came From Beneath the Sea, Tarantula, The Quatermass Experiment, and Journey to the Beginning of Time. Each of these... Well, okay. Of these, none of them are very good.
Really? Not... Yeah, well, okay.
As far as movies go, monster action, some of them have better things to talk about than others. It Came From Beneath the Sea's the gimme, of course. And Godzilla Raids Again is very important for Japan.
And I'm personally looking forward to reviewing Tarantula, so...
Yes. And of course, Godzilla Raids Again is paired off with Gigantus, the fire monster, the not as good American version.
Yeah, to anybody who thought Raymond Burr's Godzilla King of the Monsters was a terrible bastardization, oh, you poor ignorant sap.
See, here's the thing. For as much as them and Beast from 20,000 Fathoms and King Kong really did revive the interest in giant monsters, because it was dead. It was dead for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But for as much as they did, in 1956, Godzilla King of the Monsters was released. That is significant. In 1956, only
Indeed.
4 other films were released. Forbidden Planet, which, yes, counts as a giant monster movie.
Mm-hmm.
X the Unknown. Rodan, which is significant, but only in Japan.
Right.
I forget when Rodan was released in America, but it doesn't really matter because the dub is awful. And The Beast from Hollow Mountain, which nobody here remembers.
Yes.
Godzilla King of the Monsters was released in 1956 in March, and it blew open the doors.
And we will definitely see this with our next year, 1957, aka the year when American giant monster movies were everywhere.
From here on out, the world had giant monster fever. Jesus Christ, God Almighty, here we go.
Read it, Burke, read it.
Attack of the Crab Monsters, 1957. Kronos, 1957. The Deadly Mantis, 1957. Monster from Green Hell, 1957. Quatermass 2, Enemy from Space, 1957. The Giant Claw, 1957. 20 Million Miles to Earth, 1957. The Monster That Challenged the World, 1957. The Cyclops, 1957. The Land Unknown, 1957. The Black Scorpion, 1957. Willis O'Brien's last movie. The Amazing Colossal Man, 1957. The Monolith Monsters, 1957. Night of the Demon, a.k.a. Curse of the Demon, 1957. The Mysterians, 1957. Beginning of the End, 1957.
I would clap, but it would probably break the microphone on my end. Good reading there, by the way. But yeah, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, 1957 was not effing around with giant monster movies.
Jesus. We are going to be stuck in 1957 for over a year.
That is absolutely correct.
It's going to be the year that never ends.
Yeah.
And to 1957's credit, it does have some good movies in it.
Oh, yeah, thank goodness, too. It's unlike unlike Killers from Space, there's barely any wet farts here, and even if there are some bad movies, they're still too enjoyable.
My favorite might be The Monster That Challenged the World, but that's because of what the monster is. We'll get to that down the road.
Yeah, actually, looking over that list, there's quite a bit of movies here I can't wait to talk about. Kronos,
Yeah.
20 million, 20 Million Miles to Earth, The Land Unknown. I got some really positive things to say about that one.
The Hornet's Nest has been kicked, and in case you thought that we were about done with the 50s, no.
Oh, yeah, read it, brother, read it.
Varan the Unbelievable, 1958, and, of course, the 1960 American cut. Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, 1958. The Blob, the original, 1958. War of the Colossal Beast, 1958. Earth vs. the Spider, 1958. The Trollenberg Terror, a.k.a. The Crawling Eye, 1958. The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, 1958. A lot of you were waiting for that one. The Strange World of Planet X, a.k.a. The Cosmic Monsters. No, not the one Godzilla fights. December 31st, 1958. The Viking Women and the Sea Serpent, 1958. The 30-Foot Bride of Candy Rock, 1959. Attack of the Giant Leeches, 1959. It's, we'll decide if that actually counts later.
Yeah.
Behemoth, the Sea Monster, 1959.
Kaltiki.
Kaltaki?
No, Kaltiki.
Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster, 1959. The Giant Gila Monster, 1959. The Angry Red Planet, 1959. The Atomic Submarine, 1959. Prince of Space, 1959. Have Rocket Will Travel, 1959. Journey to the Center of the Earth, 1959. Teenagers from Outer Space, 1959. Terror in the Midnight Sun, a.k.a. Space Invasion of Lapond, a.k.a. Invasion of the Animal People, 1959. Tuko-san Murata Kakawa, a.k.a. Gecko and Matre Kako. Presumed lost.
1959.
Jesus Christ, 1959.
Oh.
And with special episode, the non-Giant Monster Toho films. Battle in Outer Space, the H-Man, Invisible Man, and Half Human.
As mentioned before, like I said, you'll be finding a lot of non-Giant Monster movies in this podcast, but they are significant to Giant Monster movie history, and Toho was making a killing with fantasy films in and out of the Kaiju Giant Monster genre. And this is what this special episode is all about.
Yes. Now, one notation. We have already mentioned that after the 1919 to 1940s, we are doing a special retrospective there. Because there were so few Giant Monster films in that time span, we can lump all of those decades together, especially with how similar most of the movies are. Starting from the 50s onwards, every decade gets its own retrospective.
It can't be helped.
It really can't be.
Wait till we get to the 70s.
So how do we start out in the 60s, Raph?
We start out with Dinosaurus, 1960, followed by The Lost World, also 1960.
And after that is going to have to be a special episode where we talk about the insanity of The Lost World and what the hell it did.
Thank you, Irwin Allen, you beautiful bastard of a cheapskate.
Battle of the Worlds, 1961. Conga, 1961. Gorgo, 1961. Mothra, 1961. Reptilicus, 1961. You want to cover the next ones, Raph?
Sure. The Mysterious Island, 1961. Voyage...
The second one.
The second one, yes, the more famous and beloved one. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, 1961. Valley of the Dragons, 1961. Gorath, 1962. King Kong vs. Godzilla, 1962. Planeta Burr, a.k.a. Planet of the Storms, 1962. Journey of the Seventh Planet, 1962. Jack the Giant Killer, 1962. I should have took a break in 1962.
Yeah.
I'll finish this year. Kujiragami, a.k.a. the Whale God, 1962. The Magic Sword, 1962.
And after that, we start up 1963 with Atragon. And then the special episode, Toho's Non-Giant Monster Movies, Part 2. Secrets of Telegon, The Human Vapor, The Last War, and Matango.
Two of those movies I love. The other two, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll let you guys guess which is which. Captain Sinbad, 1963. Shikari, 1963. Mothra vs. Godzilla, a.k.a. Godzilla vs. The Thing, 1964. Which is an important thing to note. The American version is significant in a very different kind of way.
Indeed. Again, we Americans are just as much to blame for Godzilla's popularity worldwide.
We are entirely to blame, but we'll cover that in King of the Monsters.
Indeed.
Dagara, the Space Monster, 1964. Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster, 1964. Flesh Eaters, 1964. Some TV series no one cares about.
Actually, it's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, but we got a lot to speak about the Irwin Allen TV shows that are spread throughout this list.
Oh, boy, do we. We'll already be covering some of it. Frankenstein Conquers the World, 1965. And a little-known movie known as Gamera, a.k.a. Gamera the Invincible.
Yeah, he's such an obscure giant turtle monster, too. This is his only film appearance, and as Brendan noted, no one has to suffer in any sequels that he made, so we're good here.
1965. God bless you, 1965.
Right.
Invasion of the Astro Monsters, a.k.a. Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. 1965. Valley of the Giants, 1965. Planet on the Prowl, Raph.
Again, it's hard to do this list when
I know.
I don't have any secretaries to help me. Sexy secretaries, I might add.
Look, you can talk about Ricardo later.
You're a horrible person, you know that?
Look, I'm sorry that you and Ricardo are having an out right now. We'll talk about it later.
Just to let the viewers know, Ricardo
Planet
is a
of the
girl.
Prowl, aka War Between the Planets, 1965. Ultra Q, 1966, the TV series.
Yes, the golden age of giant monster movies was ushered in with this one television series.
Giant Monster TV series.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Godzilla vs. Sea Monster, 1966. Gamera vs. Barugon, 1966. Daimajin, 1966. Return of Daimajin, 1966. Daimajin Strikes Again, 1966. One of these movies is not good. We will discover which one that is. The Magic Serpent, 1966. War of the Gargantuans, 1966.
And here's a special episode that you insisted we do, and I gladly agreed to.
The best obscure giant monster ever made by Toho. All about the octopus. Odaku!
The giant octopus, the giant devilfish.
You don't know who he is yet, but you will.
Oh yeah, when we're done with him. And we might have a special guest who does not love that giant octopus as well as we do, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
1 million years BC, 1966.
The movie that made Raquel Welch famous.
Let's be entirely honest, any movie would have made her famous. Ambassador Magma, aka the Space Giants. Another TV series, 1966. Ultraman! Which did not at all... I'm not even going to do that joke. TV series, 1966. Gogola. Whatever the hell that was supposed to be.
It's the Hindu Godzilla, or Bollywood Godzilla.
Well, it's gone now.
Good riddance.
Pretty much. Around the World Under the Sea, 1966. Doctor Who, the Macro Terror, which is presumed lost. Sorry, giant crabs. We love you, buddies.
Right.
We'll talk about you in a special episode. King Kong Escapes, 1967. Gamera vs. Gauss, 1967. Son of Godzilla, 1967. Gappa, the Parody Monsters, 1967.
Nobody likes that movie.
It's fine. It's got unique monsters. Young Gary, Monster from the Deep, 1967. The X from Outer Space, 1967. Seriously, if it wasn't for the fact that I know Young Gary was meant to be entirely straight-faced, that's just a trilogy of parody. It still is.
Yeah, it's that's of these three films we just mentioned, two of them are meant to be serious, but it's impossible to tell with those monster designs, especially from You Know Who. X marks the spot.
Yeah. Herculoids, TV series that is amazing. The best Funimation animated series.
Actually, Hanna-Barbera.
Funimation doesn't actually make animated series.
Right.
I was thinking of a recent announcement we'll cover at the end of the list.
That's okay. You're afford to make as many mistakes as I do.
Oh god, that many?
Oh, screw you.
Ultra 7, TV series, 1967.
Yeah, this one's going to be gushing the love between you and me, huh?
We'll be getting back to him later.
Right.
Giant Robo, aka the much better title, Johnny Sacco and his Flying Robot, 1967. TV series.
I'll read this one. Monster Wang Magwai. A South Korean monster movie from 1967, also presumed lost.
Thank God. Aegon the Atomic Dragon, a.k.a. Giant Phantom Monster Aegon, because what the hell, Japan.
And this one is not lost. In fact, it's readily available.
Sadly. Originally made in 1964, but shown off in all of its glory in 1968.
We got good old Toho to blame for that, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
Let's be entirely honest, Toho should have done more to get rid of it. Doctor Who, Fury from the Deep, 1968, also lost. Most of Yeah, most of Patrick Troughton's run is lost, sadly. Well, a good portion of it. Some piece of crap no one actually cares about.
Oh, you horrible man, you.
Land of the Giants, TV series, 1968.
We're gonna have a lot of fun with that one.
Gamera vs. Virus, 1968.
Yeah, it's so weird that all these other movies happen to share names with that giant turtle that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, well, that other turtle had 2 M's. These guys only have 1.
Okay, so they're completely unrelated movies.
Yeah,
Okay, excellent.
They'd never use footage from a black and white film anyways.
Oh yeah, you would have to be incredibly stupid and dumb to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Destroy All Monsters, 1968, the end of an era.
Indeed, that's going to be kind of a bittersweet episode.
We love you, Subaraya. Lost Continent, 1968, the remake, sort of.
Actually, same title, totally separate story.
Sort of. It's not a... It's arguably not better. Gamera vs. Gyron, Urine, whatever you want to call them, it's all the same.
Knifehead McGee.
1969, All Monsters Attack, a.k.a. Godzilla's Revenge.
I don't know if we're going to be on the bandwagon of hatred for that one, or if we're going to defend it, because, let's be honest, there are way worse movies on this list.
There are worse movies on the list, and there are worse Godzilla movies on the list.
Oh, tell me about it.
1969, Latitude Zero, 1969, Valley of Gwanji, 1969. I hear someone's ears just perked up. Captain Nemo and the Underwater City, 1969. It's Alive, 1969.
Not to be confused with the trilogy of killer baby movies from Larry Cohen.
Or the tagline for Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Ah, good one.
The Mighty Gorga, 1969. Devil Fighter, a Taiwanese film, which is actually rather interesting. 1969. 1960s retrospective, of course.
Godzilla, Harryhausen, and beyond.
Yes. Gamera vs. Jiger, 1970, and that's how we're going to be pronouncing it, because we're not going to skirt around that word.
Well, wouldn't it just be better just to refer to it as Monster X and save us the...
No.
Okay.
Jiger. Space Amoeba, 1970. It's a stupid movie.
I like it. We're going to be...
Equinox. 1970. When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth. 1970. Young Flying Hero, a.k.a. Return of the Magic Serpent. 1970. You want to take it from here for a bit?
Sure, I will. You get yourself a sandwich. Doctor Who, The Claws of Axos, 1971. Doctor Who, The Daemons, or Demons, 1971. Gamera vs. Zigra, 1971. Godzilla vs. Hedorah, 1971. Oh man, I got a confusing one.
Su Hong-woo.
Su Hong-woo, another Taiwanese fantasy movie, 1971. Thank you, Burke. Doctor Who, The Time Monster, 1972.
Maybe.
Godzilla vs. Gigan, a.k.a. All Manga Artists Attack, 1972. I had to, okay. Night of the Lepist, 1962. Daigoro versus...
1972.
1972, thank you. I'm just silver-tongued today. Daigoro versus Goliath, 1972. The Cremators, 1972. Beware the Blob, a.k.a. Son of Blob, 1962.
72.
One moment. when you've said so many sixes, it leaves a permanent indent in my brain.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to continue until 1965.
75.
See, this is why I have a co-host, ladies and gentlemen. Iron Keen, a television series from 1972 to 1973. Doctor Who, Carnival of Monsters, 1973. Godzilla vs. Megalon, 1973. Digby, the biggest...
Go to hell, Raph.
I like this movie. Digby, the biggest dog in the world, 1973. Fantastic Planet, 1973. The Neptune Factor, 1973. Doctor Who, Invasion of the Dinosaurs, 1973. And just a quick clarification, these are basically television miniseries, so they're different from full-blown series or just straight-to-TV movies. Which brings us to Doctor Who, Planet of the Spiders, 1973. Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla, aka Godzilla vs. the Cosmic Monster, which ties back to that earlier joke we made, 1974. The obscure Filipinos movie, Darna and the Giants, 1974. Doctor Who, Robot, the very first appearance of Tom Baker, December 28th, 1974. Land of the Lost, the original television series, and perhaps the only good thing connected to that mini-franchise, September 7th, 1974 to December 4th, 1976. Well, that's kind of a good run.
Yeah.
All right. Let me finish off 1975. The Giant Spider Invasion, 1975. Terror of Mechagodzilla, 1975. The Land That Time Forgot, 1975. The Super Inframan, sometimes known simply as Inframan, 1975. A special episode, again tying into the overall history of giant monster movies, Jaws, June 20th, 1975. And I will admit, ladies and gentlemen, I have yet to see Jaws, so that's going to be a new experience for me when we get there. Doctor Who, Terror of the Zygons, August 30th, 1975. Doctor Who, Planet of Evil, September 27th, 1975. Doctor Who, The Seeds of Doom, January 31st, 1976. All right, you want to take it from here?
At the Earth's Core, 1976. Oh boy, everybody.
Yes, your favorite part of the decade, Burke.
So, you remember the whole... See, here's the thing. In the 50s, it took a little bit of time for the knockoffs and the Me Too's and the... We're gonna start taking over and we're gonna try to cash in on this giant monster craze. It took a little while for that to happen because it was the 50s. We're in the 70s now. And King Kong 1976 just happened. So, guess what that means, everybody? That's right. Another giant monster resurgence.
Or, as Brendan Ten also accurately put it, Kongsploitation.
Kongsploitation all over Raph's face.
Aw, dude.
Ape, 1976. Queen Kong, 1976. Food of the Gods, 1976. Millipatatats Monster, 1976. War God, a.k.a. Guan Yu, 1976. The Mighty Peking Man, 1977. Empire of the Ants, 1977. Legend of the Dinosaurs and Monster Birds, 1977. The People That Time Forgot, 1977. Crater Lake Monster, 1977. Tentacles, 1977. Jabberwocky, 1977. Maybe. The Last Dinosaur, 1977. Yeti, Giant of the Raft Century, 1977.
The greatest movie ever made for the first 30 minutes.
Special episode, Orca the Killer Whale, 1977.
Mm-hmm.
Sea Gods and Ghosts, Taiwanese, 1977. Whatever the hell that name is, and King Mong, Brazil, 1977. Futo, 1977, short film. Not sure if we're going to be able to get that.
Yeah, also it's incredibly obscure, so we probably won't get to it even if we wanted to.
Yes. Planet of the Dinosaurs, 1978. Warlords of Atlantis, 1978. Special episode. The best version of War of the Worlds ever made. Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds, 1978. We'll get to it, folks. You'll understand when we get there.
Yeah, it's as much as we love the War of the Worlds from the 1953 movie, this one definitely, we both agreed, without any argument or interpretation, agreed that this is definitely the best version of the story.
Yes. Doctor Who, The Power of Kroll, 1978. Up from the Depths, 20 Stories High, 1979.
I just realized something. I forgot to put the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla animated series on this list.
You did.
Yeah, so,
Hanna-Barbera Godzilla, somewhere in the 1970s.
yeah, 1978 to 1970.
No one cares.
I like that series.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's comparable to the 90s Godzilla animated series. The 6 Ultra Brothers versus the Monster Army.
Yeah.
1979. A.k.a. Hanuman and the Ultra Brothers. We'll be getting to it. Arabian Adventure, 1979. Doctor Who, The Creature from the Pit, 1979. Maybe. 1970s Retrospective. By the way, folks, for those of you following at home, we will have the list in some capacity online for you to see.
Yeah, so confusing names that we're having a hard time saying, you can read at home.
I'm sorry.
Is that because of the weird title I gave the 1970s retrospective?
No.
Okay.
Crocodile, which was either made in 1979 or 1980. It's not clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's Crocodile. Nobody actually cares. Not a real movie, starring Gamera with one M. 1980.
Yes. Yeah, completely unconnected to all the Gamera of the 2 M's back in 65. We're killing.
No footage at all.
Yeah, we're killing that joke, aren't we?
Well, you can't kill something that's already dead. Alligator. Because we really needed another one of those. 1980. Island Claws. Monster, a.k.a. Monstroid. It came from the lake. The Toxic Horror. For the record, folks, this movie does not deserve all those names.
It was so bad they had to resell it 3 times.
Diva in the Underworld, maybe, who knows?
Again, it's a movie so obscure I don't even think we'll be able to find a copy in time.
Maybe, who knows? One that really doesn't count, Doctor Who's State of Decay.
Have you seen it? Because I've yet to see it.
Caveman, 1981.
Screw you.
Dragon Slayer, 1981. Loch Ness Horror, 1981. Mystery on Monster Island, 1981. Blood Beach, 1981. No longer questionable because it has relevance with another movie we're going to have to add to the list.
Oh yeah, that's true. Thank you so much for bringing that up, by the way.
You're welcome. We will cover that when we get to the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
2010s, rather. Q, The Winged Serpent, 1982. Flight of the Dragons, 1982. Brain 17, 1982. Just based off something from the 70s.
Daitetsujin 17.
No one cares. Attack of the Super Monsters, 1982. Which just sounds like any giant monster movie.
Better title than Destroy All Planets, not starring Gamera with 2 M's.
I don't know what you're talking about. Fairy and the Devil, Taiwanese, 1982. The Phoenix, a.k.a. War of the Wizards, 1983. Krull, 1983. Return of Ultraman?
Yeah, that's the weird one with the current director of that new Godzilla movie coming out dressed in an Ultraman onesie.
Probably not going to actually get to that one. Return of Dinosaurs. Oh no, 1983. And then the other one. The Return of Godzilla, 1984, a.k.a. Godzilla 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Where we have nothing but praise for Godzilla King of the Monsters and what it did and what it was.
And
we'll have a lot more fun with this episode.
Yeah, and mixed feelings, at best, for the American version that came out a year later.
Yes, that's what I was implying there, Raph. Hydra, Monster of the Deep. You know what? No, screw you and these other titles. 1984.
It's okay, they're Italian.
Devilfish, 1984. The Flying Monster, South Korea, 1984. We'll see if we can watch it.
Right.
Neverending Story, 1984. Ghostbusters. No jokes about the remake.
Yep, we are very
1984.
Yeah, unbiased busters right here.
Ultraman Story, 1984. Polsogari, 1985. A movie made with literal slave labor.
Literally. So
thank you, North Korea.
I was about to say that.
Nasaka, Valley of the Wind, 1985. Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend, 1985. Return to Oz, 1985.
Hey, you skipped a movie.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I very pointedly did not.
You did mention it earlier, but this is an even worse version of an already questionable movie.
Eight-headed giant serpent's counterattack, a.k.a. Yamata no Orochi, 1985.
You're not going to get back to the other one, are you?
The Real Ghostbusters, 1986, the TV series. King Kong Lives, 1986. You might be wondering, wait a second, hasn't it been a decade since King Kong? Yes. No, the time did not make it better. The Gate, 1987. Ganjosaurus Rex, 1987.
Yeah, just to let you know, Burke, I'll be suffering along with you with some of these films, especially when we get to my personal favorite decade, the 90s.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Invasion Earth, The Aliens Are Here, 1987. The Blob, 1988. Thunder of Gigantic Serpent, 1988. That's going to be a weird movie.
Yeah, that's going to be a weird one.
I'm covering the 80s for the record, for a reason, for the record, audience at home.
Oh, so I can suffer through the 90s?
The Brain, 1988. Lair of the White Worm, 1988. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It's like I recently resaw that movie. I don't think this one was going to last.
Night of the Beast, 1988. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, 1988. The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Munchausen.
1988. Godzilla vs. Biollante, 1988. 89, rather. Gunhead, 1989. Moontrap, 1989. Ghostbusters 2, maybe. It's not really a giant monster in there.
Well, there's 3 of them at least.
Sort of. Deep Star 6, 1989. Alien from the Deep, a.k.a. Alien from the Abyss, 1989.
I love that movie. We can't wait to revisit it.
It's going to be fun. The BFG, 1989. Endless Descent, 1989.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you might recognize BFG as something that recently fell prey to a fish.
That's not a right way to refer to director Steven Spielberg.
We'll get back to that later.
Yeah.
First things first, we have the 1980s retrospective.
Uh-huh.
And then we have Tremors, 1990. Well, great start, 1990.
Yeah, great start.
Fantastic. We love you. Ultra Q the movie, Legend of From the Stars, 1990. Robot Jocks, 1990. Really fantastic, strong start here.
Well, not counting the Ultra Q movie, but unless...
Monster Heaven, 1990 rather. Trying to skip the decade for some reason.
Right.
Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, 1991. Dark Fortress, 1991.
You're not even going to... Okay, that last movie, you're not even going to say it's a more infamous, better title, huh?
Dark Fortress, 1991.
It is a better title. Screw you, Trauma.
Rojin Z, 1991. Godzilla vs. Mothra, the second one, 1992. Return of the Huge Destroyer. Fatal Prediction, 1992. Adventures of the Kung Fu Rascals, 1992.
Yeah, we're starting out pretty okay, aren't we?
It's winding down. Invader, 1992. Jurassic Park, 1993. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, 1993. Robot Wars, 1993.
You want me to continue from here? Because I think Robot Wars was the point of no return.
We're getting to the point of no return.
Okay, which one?
The Magic Train, 1993. Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, the second one, 1993. Kamen Rider J, 1994. Raph?
Yeah, this is where it kind of goes downhill. There's some diamond in the roughs, but we'll Yeah, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, 1994. You done? Okay. Orochi, the eight-headed dragon, aka Yamato Takeru, 1994. Dragon World, 1994. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, 1995. Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, 1995. Just to clarify, this is a completely different Gamera from the previous Gamera movies.
Yeah, this one doesn't have any M's in his name.
Yeah, none. Godzilla vs. Destroyer.
Don't do that.
I will.
Don't.
Sorry, I had to. I'm sorry.
It's just Destroyer.
Destroyer.
Or Destroyer, if you want.
Okay.
You suck.
Yeah, 1995. Don't blame me. It's too fun of a joke not to do. Magic in the Water.
Raph?
Yes?
We're not doing the one after Magic in the Water. You were supposed to take that out.
It's such a bad movie. I can't argue with you. So we'll just skip that one. Magic in the Water, 1995. Yangu and Dinosaur Zuzu, 1995. Precursor to things to come. Gamera 2, The Attack of Legion, 1996.
Yay.
Rebirth of Mothra, 1996. Dragonheart, 1996. Tremors 2, Aftershocks, 1996. The Adventures of Gilgameth, 1996.
You sure that shouldn't be Gilgamesh? However.
Yeah, you're probably saying it right, but one thing I think we can both agree, the only somewhat good thing to come out of the whole Pagasari horror. Alright, moving on, and it now kind of goes downhill from here. Zarkor, the Invader, 1996. A Tank, aka Bollywood Jaws, 1996. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, 1997. Rebirth of Mothra 2, 1997. Yes, now you're starting to see why I'm not a big fan of the 90s. Robo Warriors, 1997. Turbo, a Power Rangers movie.
Debatably.
1997. Moon Over Teo, the Makaraga.
Ow.
1997. That's actually a good movie, so we do have some bright spots in this shitstorm. Vulcan, aka Anak Nagbakon, Philippines-US co-production, I think. 1997. Phantoms, aka the greatest... I totally forgot the joke I was going to make.
Good job.
Ben Affleck. Greatest Ben Affleck movie ever made. 1998. Deep Rising. 1998. Gargantua. 1998. That was a wasted TV movie night. Speaking of...
Hurrah, the sea monster!
Okay, you can get away with that for Attack of the 60-Foot Centerfold, but you're not going to get away with this one, okay? Godzilla...
Mothra 3, King of Monsters!
Burke, stop it, okay? If we said Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, we're going to say this movie.
Ultraman Tiga and Ultraman Dyna! Warriors of Light! And I guess the Roland Emmerich Godzilla movie.
Godzilla 1998, followed by...
It does not deserve that much of an entrance.
No, it does not. But
the piece of garbage produced and directed by Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. May they rot in obscurity even though they keep making films.
And money. We still have to talk about that movie, and I did not mean to give it...
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a happy time.
And just for the record, I did not mean to give it a good announcement. You just kind of skipped like 3 movies ahead. One of those 3 movies that I'll re-say in a moment, I actually like quite a bit. But no, we got Crawl the Sea Monster, 1998. Mothra 3, that's the good one. King Ghidorah Attacks, a.k.a. simply Rebirth of Mothra 3, 1998. Ultraman Tiga and Ultraman Dyna, Warriors of Light, 1998. Godzilla, the animated series, TV series, 1998 to 2000. The Mighty Kong, I totally forgot that.
We really have to watch that one.
Yeah, I totally forgot that one exists. And I've seen it. 1998. Giant monsters appear in Tokyo, one of the most obscure kaiju movies ever made, 1998. Special episode, Mystery Science Theater 3000, 1988 to 1999, and beyond. The hell? So, and there's a good reason we got to talk about that show, because it did a lot of things for the giant monster genre. Except for Gamera, he had no significant connection to this series whatsoever.
The joke is better than your hair.
Hey, I got great hair. So, all right. And speaking of
on the rack next to Trump's.
Oh, well, it's not that bad, and there's a much better brain underneath it. Like best brains. Get it?
Gamera 3, Revenge of Iris.
It's a pun. Zing.
Iron Giant. Godzilla 2000.
We're actually ending the 90s on a pretty high note.
Yeah. Ultraman Gaia, Battle in Hyperspace.
Yeah, questionable.
Attack of the Giant, something stupid.
Yeah, forget what I just said.
1990s retrospective. Rise of CGI.
Yay?
No.
Okay.
And just to give you a good idea of what to expect from this decade, the 2000s, we start off with Reptilian, aka Young Gary, sort of made in 1999, but then released in 2001.
Oh, it's even worse than that. They made it in 1999, and then they remade it in 2001. There's two different versions of this movie.
It's going to be one of the worst movies on the list.
Maybe even worse than the ones you've tried to avoid, dear Burr.
It's going to be one of the worst films on... You people know how long we've been doing this. We've been doing this for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. We're almost done.
Like this,
We're almost done.
This episode alone is going to take a year for you to listen to.
We're almost done if we go through it, so that's why we're going...
This is still one of the worst films ever made.
Oh, you're referring to Yongari. I thought you were referring to this list.
No.
And speaking of the list...
The list is pretty terrible, too.
Yeah. Next up, we got Ultraman Tiga, The Final Odyssey.
Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, 2000.
Oh.
You can't beat me at my own game.
Well, I don't... Okay, as bad as Space Godzilla and 90...
Megaguirus is better than Space Godzilla. Screw you.
We'll see. We'll get there.
Godzilla's suit wasn't falling apart in Space Godzilla. Or Megaguirus.
Yeah, actually, I was going to make the argument both movies...
And the fight scenes are better in Megaguirus.
I was going to make the argument...
And the monster's not a complete and total waste of space.
Listen, you cat...
And there isn't a Mogira.
Listen, you miserable lurk. I'm about to agree with you because I just realized I was going to say Space Godzilla had better human characters, but then I remembered Megaguirus, so let's just move on.
Spiders, 2000.
Hey, you skipped a movie.
No, I didn't. You already said Ultraman Tiga.
The Final Odyssey, 2000. Yes, you're right.
You said that.
You're right. Moving on.
Spiders, 2000. Slave Beast, maybe. Let's see if we watch it or not.
Yeah.
1 second, I lost my place. Sakuya, Slayer of Demons, 2000. Jurassic Park 3, 2001.
I like it a lot better than the second one, so I'm not really sad about it.
It's not great. Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters, All Out Attack, aka GMK, 2001.
And proof that the Japanese cannot title a movie correctly to save their lives.
No, that's not proof. We're getting to the proof later.
Oh yeah, you're right. I just saw the list. Never mind.
Tremors 3, Back to Perfection, which really should be followed up by Tremors the TV series, but whatever.
Right. By the time you see this list, ladies and gentlemen, it will be updated from the podcast recording.
Ultraman Cosmos, First Contact.
We have to.
We really don't. Jack and the Beanstalk, Their Real Story. Yay. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, a.k.a. Godzilla X Mechagodzilla, 2002. Eight-Legged Freaks, 2002. None of you remember that, even though you all saw the commercials. Except for those of you born after. You don't count as people. Ultraman Cosmos, The Blue Planet. Can we just put all the Ultraman Cosmos movies into one?
No, they're too complicated for that.
No, they're not.
It's going to be a...
That is a lie.
It's going to be a 45-minute...
You are lying.
It's going to be a 45-minute episode if we do that, Jesse. Let's not do
That's
that.
fine.
Right.
Reign of Fire, 2002. Godzilla, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, Tokyo SOS, 2003. What the hell, Japan?
I usually just call it Godzilla Tokyo SOS, but if you want to give it the full title...
That's the full title. That is what they wanted. That is what they have asked for. That is what it is.
And speaking of complex Japanese long titles, that's going to purse
That's
off...
not complex. It's just Ultraman Cosmos versus Ultraman Justice, the final battle. How is that complex?
Screw you, moving on.
Evil alien conquerors.
They rule.
Well, they really don't.
Yeah, I'm going to have fun reviewing that one, so...
2003. Creepies, 2003. Deep Shock, 2003. Arachnia, 2003. Ultraman the Next, 2004. Godzilla Final Wars, 2004. The 50th anniversary of the Godzilla franchise.
Godzilla showed up drunk.
He really had an excuse to.
The director made him do it.
The director did a lot of things we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Tremors 4, The Legend Begins, 2004. Garuda, 2004.
Was that for the previous movie or for Garuda?
Neither, for what is coming.
Oh yeah, this is where this is where it really gets bad. We're getting to the Sci-Fi Channel original territory here.
The bottom is about to drop out of the barrel, folks.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
We started out so beautifully with 1957, and now the Asylum is starting to set up shop.
Boa versus Python, 2004. For the record, no, Anaconda does not count, nor does Anaconda 2. No.
No, it's already off the list. We're good.
No, I'm telling the audience.
Oh, okay, yeah. We don't want to go...
We have enough dumb CGI snake monsters. We don't need that. It doesn't matter. No.
We got enough snakes on this list for a bunch of charmers to be... That joke got away from me. Keep going.
That joke never had... You never had that joke. That joke just came and gone like a wet fart.
Can you stop using the terminology wet fart? Can't you just say miserable failure of life in general?
No. I use what fits.
Fine.
Monster Island, 2004. Incident at Loch Ness, 2004.
I'm actually interested to hear what your thoughts would be on that movie after we review it, but let's move on.
If it's the one I think it is, not much. Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, 2004. Shockingly enough, we will be the only people to ever actually watch that movie.
Amazingly. I'd say there's a third guy named Roger Ebert, but he's no longer with us.
Yeah, I'd love to know what he thought about it. Too bad we'll never know.
Oh, he loved it.
Too bad we'll never know.
You horrible bastard, you.
Dragonstorm, 2004. Zebraman, 2004. The overly long movie, 2005.
Also known as On the Damn Boat.
Peter Jackson's I'm on a Boat. The Call of Cthulhu, 2005.
A silent movie in this day and age? How could that be?
Oh, to be fair, it's only like the 5th silent monster movie ever made.
Yeah, that...
The Fallen Ones, 2005. Deep Sea Beast Rago, 2005. Creepies 2, 2005. Mishi, the Water Giant, 2005. Negadon, the Monster from Mars, 2005. Tetsujin, 28, 2005. Kong, King of Atlantis, 2005.
Oh no. As bad as...
King of the Lost World, 2005.
Yeah, now this is where the Asylum really starts to plant its crap flag all over this list.
Not quite. War of the Worlds, the remake, 2005. Sound of Thunder, 2005.
Hmm.
Attack of the Bee-Movie Monster, 2005. Which is very questionable.
It's not that, well...
The Host,
ugh.
2006.
Now you're just getting angry.
Gamera the Brave, 2006.
Yay.
Ultraman Mebius and the Ultra Brothers.
Yay.
Probably the worst thing from Ultraman Mebius, but hey, that's still better than some of this. Kong Return to the Jungle, 2006.
I've yet to see it, but I've heard horrible things.
Kraken, Tentacles of the Deep, aka Deadly Water, 2006. Caved In, Prehistoric Terror, 2006.
The Beatles.
Monster House. Mil-Machosaurus versus the Aztec Mummy. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, this episode is... and all the negative energy, you can sense it through this episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Bacterium.
I'm not looking forward to that one. It's gory.
Dragon Wars, 2007.
That's going to be a weird one.
Water Horse Legend of the Deep.
That's going to be a weirder one.
I hate you for putting that on here. Big Man Japan. The Mist, I guess.
Well, at least it's...
Rock.
At least it's better than Under the Dome. Keep going.
That is debatable. Foghorn. Cloverfield, 2008. Decisive Battle, The 8 Super Ultra Brothers, 2008. Journey to the Center of the Earth, 2008. The one with Brendan Fraser. No, the Mummy movie doesn't count. I don't care if he became a tornado.
I would agree with you, actually.
The Monster X Strikes Back, Attack of the G8 Summit, 2008. Monster, The Asylum, 2008.
I've yet to see it.
Monsters vs. Aliens, 2009.
I'll take over from here, dear friend. Demiking, the sea monster, aka the Waiting for Godot of giant monster movies, 2009. Deep Sea Monster Raiga, 2009. Mega Monster Battle, Ultra Galaxy Legends the Movie, 2009. Gahara, the Long and Dark-Haired Monster, short film, 2009, and that's one we're definitely going to go into depth to because it's pretty good. At least in my twisted philosophy. Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, 2009. Land of the Lost, the Will Ferrell comedy remake, 2009. Godzilla X the Kaiju Killer, fan film, 2009. And even though we were going to avoid fan films like The Plague, some of them do count simply because of their significance, and this is one of them. So, or we just want to touch upon. It's our show. I can do whatever I want. God of Clay, short film, made 2009, but not given a release until the film circuit on 2011. Mongolian Deathworm, 2010. Behemoth, 2010. Death Kappa, a very decisive episode when we get to that one, 2010. The Troll Hunter, 2010. Sharktopus, 2010. Moby Dick, 2010. I wonder what year that was made, 2010. The Millennium Bug, 2010. Mega Piranha, 2010. Altitude, 2010. And that's a movie we may drop because it's a unconfirmed status whether or not it counts as a giant monster movie. Monsters, from Garth Edwards, 2010. Bangalore King Kong, 2010. Triassic Attack, 2010. That movie. Oh, that movie. Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus, 2010. The Man Who Summons Kaiju, aka Kaiju Wu Yubu Otoku, 2010. That's a short film, by the way. Mega Conda, 2010. Mega Python vs. Gatorade, 2011. The Dragon Pearl, 2011. Super Shark, 2011. Yes, that's the one with the giant shark fighting the tank. You know, it's amazing. There's so many giant... we haven't really gotten into the giant shark ones yet. The Terror Beneath, aka Seeds of Destruction, not to be confused with the other Seeds of Destruction with Doctor Who, 2011. Henge, or Henji, also means transformation, I believe, 2011. It's a questionable status, a Japanese horror movie. Grabbers, 2012. Arachnoquake, 2012, and if memory serves me correct, I think that's one of the few Sci-Fi Channel originals I actually like. It's a shame Rock Monster isn't on this list, but we'll see. Journey to The Mysterious Island, 2012. Notice how quiet Burke is. Two-Headed Shark Attack, 2012. Piranaconda, because Sharktopus wasn't enough, 2012. Bigfoot, with Danny Donabucci and one of the Brady kids, 2012. That one's gonna hurt. Giant God Warrior appears in Tokyo, short film spin-off from Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, 2012. Jack the Giant Slayer, 2013. I actually personally like this one, and I'm the only one in America who can say that. Meime me no Kuragi, better known as Jellyfish Eyes, 2013. Peter and the Colossus, 2013, although there's a good chance this movie was never completed, if not unreleased.
Hello folks, I'm back.
Hey, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, a good chunk of the crap has already gone.
Yeah, you're right. We're starting to get back into the grace of good giant monster movies, mostly, maybe.
Sort of, not really. Spiders 3D, 2013. Atlantic Rim, 2013. Pacific Rim, 2013.
Yay!
Poseidon Rex, 2013.
I'll say it. Big Ass Spider, 2013. Much better movie than that title suggests.
Why do we always have to have an eight-legged freaks? Zella, Monster Martial Law, 2013. Mega Shark versus Mega Shark.
Say it correctly. Mega Shark versus...
Mecha Shark versus who cares?
Yeah, we gotta...
Bermuda Tentacles, aka Dark Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Godzilla, 2014. Thank you.
Now I totally see where your Gojira rant came from. I totally agree now.
Godzilla 2014. Thank you so much. Oh, God. I don't care what anyone says. That's a good movie.
No, I agree with you, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
Earth Defense Widow. Sure, why not? 2014. Sharktopus versus Pterodactyl. Let me try that again with more enthusiasm.
You do so.
Sharktopus versus Pterodactyl.
I didn't know the guys from Red Letter Media was here.
2014. Tremors 5. Bloodlines. 2015.
And if you thought Tremors 4 was bad...
Did you mention the good movie that was made a little while ago? That was sort of a remake of Blood Beach?
No, it's not on this list. By all means, plug it.
What was it called?
I believe simply The Beach, if not Killer Sand.
Something like that. It's a good movie. We'll watch it.
Cool, I'm looking forward to that.
Jurassic World. I guess.
It's a very little known movie, so
yeah. Nobody ever watched it.
Yeah. So not connected to Jurassic Park in any way, right?
What
was that? I can't hear you. Oh, yes, the greatest movie ever made. The Asylum is so shameless they ripped off our next movie.
Attack on Titan, Part 1, and really Attack on Titan Part 2, because they make one movie.
Right.
It doesn't count as a giant monster movie, right?
You're probably right, but let's just say it anyways and get
It's on the list. We probably aren't going to watch it.
You're right. And that movie, for those of you who don't...
Pixels. Adam Sandler's Pixels.
Adam Sandler's last stand at the Alamo. Of crap.
No, until his Hotel Transylvania start failing. On the plus side, he has entered the Mike Myers spiral of failure, where his best roles are now animated schlock.
Good for him. Alright, moving on.
Queen Crab, 2015. Crab. Roger Corman's Crab Monster movie was on here.
Yes, it was.
Love and Peace, 2015. I miss the 50s. A giant piece of crap.
Hey,
2015.
Oh, dude. Hey, come on. I've heard a lot of good things about Love and Peace, and also say the title correctly for the movie that follows Love and Peace.
A giant piece of steaming garbage. A thing that is better than just...
I'll say it. Ultraman Ginga S Showdown.
The awfulest thing your dog has ever crapped out. And the ruination of several of the best villains of a franchise. The movie.
Moving on.
Connected to possibly the worst Ultraman series ever made in Japan.
You know, we're like those two hobbits. We're on the verge of escaping that exploding volcano, and here comes the eagles, but you're like, fuck you, eagles. We're not going. We're gonna die right here. We're almost to the end, Burke. We're almost to the end.
10 whatever lane.
10 Cloverfield Lane, 2000.
10 whatever lane.
Considering the
honest.
the production history of this movie, you're probably right.
Ultraman X, here it comes our Ultraman.
We got some good movies coming.
2016.
We're almost done. Keep going, Burke.
Kong, King of the Apes. TV series.
I watched the whole thing, so you have no...
2016.
You have no right to say it wasn't that bad. But then again, I thought it was good the first watching. Second watching, not so much.
Voltron, Legendary Defender, 2016.
Yay.
Spielberg keeps getting screwed by fish, 2016.
I don't get that reference.
I don't either. It's weird.
Are you referring to Jaws?
Dory!
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Totally forgot about that. Oh, right. And then War of the Worlds was released on the same time as Finding Nemo, huh?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, me neither. We are such brilliant film historians.
No, we're not.
Okay.
A title that is now completely obsolete. So, this takes a little bit... This is going to be a little bit of a last-minute editation of the list. Originally, Shin Gojira was... The English title for Shin Gojira was Godzilla Resurgence. However... Possibly because of a certain film by the name of Independence Day Resurgence, which probably belongs on the list now. Thanks a lot, Independence Day Resurgence, and your random giant monster.
Yeah.
Toho no longer wants the movie to be named Godzilla Resurgence.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is news to me, so I'm ready to scream.
Instead, Toho has decided that Shin Gojira's English title shall be Shin Godzilla.
God.
And, in case you did not know, its film distributor is, in fact, Funimation. These same people who put out Attack on Titan.
I'm excited about that last part, but really, that's the title?
That's the title.
Shin Godzilla?
Shin Godzilla.
I thought Godzilla Resurgence... Let's keep going.
Blame Independence Day and Ronald Emmerich.
If I ever see that guy, I'm going to grill him, proverbially.
I'd like to grill him literally.
Damn it! This list...
Godzilla, 2016.
Yeah, this list is sucking our souls. We're almost done.
No, we're not. No, we're not. There are so many more movies coming out.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but we only have...
Colossal! 2016.
Unless Toho said no, then that movie's never coming out.
Daikaiju Mono, 2016. Warrior Goddess Canon, 2016?
Yeah, I don't...
Maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure either, so...
Kong, Skull Island, 2017.
You saw the trailer for that, right?
Yes.
What do you think?
Not now.
Okay.
Hopefully Power Rangers 2017.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I'm kind of suspect if there will be giant robots.
Yeah, knowing Lionsgate, they'll probably not throw in the giant robots just to save money.
And I'm pretty sure there's more we're forgetting. There's going to be a new Gamera movie released at some point. Gamera with 2 M's. He's finally getting another movie.
Yes. Oh, great. You're resurrecting that joke. You're making a resurgence of that joke.
Well, somebody has to. That isn't Ronald Elmerich.
Yeah, that is true. No, the thing with Dai is they're seeing how the new Godzilla movie, Shin Godzilla, I can't believe that's the title, is going to do in Japan. If it does well, we will be getting a new Gamera movie, and the trailer for that looked awesome.
Yeah. And there are other things that may or may not get picked up, but yeah, in the world of giant monsters, this is about it.
Yeah, well, are you deliberately forgetting about the more Legendary Pictures Godzilla movies?
Well, here's the thing. We don't actually know how they're going to work out. But yes, Godzilla 2 is supposed to be coming out in 2018. And immediately following that is Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Set for 2019-2020.
Right.
And we'll see if we actually get that. A lot of things is going to ride on Kong, King of Skull Island.
Yeah, so much like how a lot of things are riding on Shin Godzilla Resurgence.
Yeah.
So, also, I just remembered I did forget one extra movie, and it's a movie that's actually dear to my heart, so I feel bad about it. Ultraman Zero, the movie. The Revenge of Ultraman Bile.
Yeah, also Ultra Galaxy, the movie.
Oh, no, we did mention that one.
No, we did. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Again, this list was a massive undertaking in its own right, so... Speaking of which...
This is going to be our entire podcast, people.
Yeah.
This is going to... Oh, Jesus Christ, this list, I hate it. It is filled with bad things and made by a bad person.
Hey, I'm not that evil. I'm evil light, but I'm not evil diet.
You're Adam Sandler evil.
Oh, come on, dude. I'm not that bad.
On the plus side, you're going to have a lucrative career as a cartoon character.
And my movies will probably make $1 billion regardless, because people are stupid.
You know, I don't think his movies actually make that much money anymore.
I would argue.
Pixels sure didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you know of any movies that we missed that are good, go ahead and speak up. If you know any movies that we missed that are terrible,
screw you.
Oh.
Yeah, we got enough bad movies. We could use some good movies on this list, especially after we get past the 90s. It's just not going to be as fun as the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
And then we have the rejected list in case we ever really needed to pull more.
We're not going to go over that one, are we?
No.
Okay.
The rejected list is the list that might technically have giant monsters on it. Maybe, sort of, not really. Or... they're just movies that we're not going to watch.
You can read the rejected list for yourself, dear viewers, but these were movies we had very passionate arguments. Some of them about whether they should stay. Most of them was like, no, Raph, no. Wait, that was your line. I'm sorry.
Almost a lot of these. One of these I will highlight. Day the Earth Stood Still. No.
The remake.
No, we are not doing that. I am not watching that. Again, I am not reviewing that. I am not talking about that. Giving that any excuse to exist violates a basic principle of the universe. No.
You really like the first one that much, don't you?
Other ones that we could mention just don't count for technicalities.
Bite me.
Like Lake Placid, where it's just a big crocodile, but it's not even that big of a crocodile. It's really not. It's just a big, dumb crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
We're not watching that.
Right.
So yeah, that's all it really comes down to. Either it's just too questionable and it gets rejected, or one of us, always me, always me, takes a moral stance.
I will not argue on that one, and please do not say the titles in question, because I've agreed with you long ago that these should not be on the podcast. They're both terrible movies, and just content-wise, not worth sitting
Legend
through.
of the Eighth Samurai, really, Raph? And you will notice a noticeable cut here. That's because someone here doesn't understand humor or the concepts therein.
Bite me.
Daily. Agree and add, folks. Agree and add.
It's funny. This list is very much an allegory for life.
No, it's not.
No, we start out fresh-eyed and young and happy and hopeful.
No, we didn't. We started out in the 1910s. It was terrible. Everyone was dying or racist.
Yeah, but it's like learning to walk. It's scary at first, and then we picked up our groove.
And then we got into the 1930s, where everyone was even more racist.
We picked up our groove and got into the 50s, and it was great. That was our childhood.
Where everyone was terrified for their lives, and the world was going to end at any moment.
Okay, fine. The world is a horrible place, and mankind will probably die young on the evolutionary scale.
Oh, you're right. It is an analogy. An analogy.
Allegory.
Whatever.
So there's the list, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be a lot better behaved when we do the episodes themselves. I hope, maybe, kind of.
I'm being forced to do this at 12:44 a.m.
On your side, on my side, it's still early.
Send help.
So, how do we end this, Burke?
Basically, here's the thing. We're probably going to be putting up one episode a month.
Yeah, 2 episodes if we're fortunate.
If time allows. We will be having a consistent little secondary host, hopefully, by the name of Andres Perez.
Better known as Kaiju Noir on YouTube.
Yes. He will be joining us for movies that he has a particular interest in. Might have a man by the name of Guanji show up for a certain film, but we'll see. We have no idea when we're going to actually start this, and honestly, I'm not sure when we're going to release this. Preferably, we'll release this close to when we're actually going to start.
Yeah, although, if we do release it early, there are some side programs, such as something I did with Andres, talking about the Gamera history, that might serve as a little go-between. But so far, this is the pilot episode, and as Burke mentioned, we won't be getting to the full series anytime soon. But this is something just to kind of wet your ear whistles, so to speak.
Yes. We will be going over each and every one of these films on this list, more or less, and go into as much depth as we can and care to.
Yes, it'll be much better researched when we get to each episode in question.
Yes. So look forward to Conquest of the Pole, made in 1912, as our first episode.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. I can't wait to get your opinion on that one.
See you later, folks.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
And remember, review all monsters.
Whether you want to or not.
One of us is going to get the last word.
You can have it. I'm done.
It's me.